Ttdx 912112. This car just rolled in this morning into our Bakersfield facility. Let's take a walk around it. This is actually one of my favorite car styles. We call it a triple WT, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. You can see here, lightweight. So this entire car weighs 75,000 pounds, which is a little bit heavier than normal. We'll knock off about 20,000 pounds off this rail car. So this car will still be pretty heavy. This is a good thing. It means there's a lot of good metal on this. You can see as we're looking, you know, the typical spot where there's damage would be right inside there. That looks fantastic. You can see this is where the cars come in. Up that spur there, you can see we have 2 more cars, 3 more cars ready to come in the yard here. This car looks fantastic. It has the chalk tracks. We do have a video that talks about how to remove the chalk tracks I just made yesterday. So if you want to look at that, I encourage you to watch that video. Let's take a look at this car. Good looking car. Maybe we'll get a little bit low this time. And here we go, we're back over to the brake end, the B end of the rail car. Okay, let's take a look underneath, see what we have. Let's see how straight this car is. It's really nice looking. We have a little, right here you can see we do have a little bit of a bend. Oh yeah, you can kind of see that where this little corner has been damaged a little bit. Actual insill still looks good, but there's just a wee little damage there. So we could fix that, or if this car is getting matched up to another rail car, we would just cut that curb off and leave that other good curb on there. Right, let's take a look underneath. See what we have. All right, there's the center sill. Looks fantastic. You can see right there it has a little bit of a drop there, so that's a triple drop center sill. Body bolster looks good. Now this is this car has latitudinal cross members here, where most of these 90 footers would have a longitudinal cross member. So that's a little different about this car. Let's take a look at the cross members further down. So on this rail car, from here all the way over here, there's just going to be a whole bunch of latitudinal cross members, or transverse cross members as some people call them. But right underneath here, this is what we would call the on a traditional flat car, this would be the X3 cross member. You can see that cross member is a lot different than what you see on some of the other rail cars, right? And so on this car, this is actually the X1, because there's no other latitudinal cross member. Actually, this would be X2, because those are a bunch of latitudinals over there. Those are all the same, those tubes over there, all the way down, you will have those tubes. But then over here, you can see they're latitudinal or transverse. But then once we jump over here, we get into these longitudinals. And these are called WTs. They're basically an I-beam that's been cut in half lengthwise to form a T instead of an I, right? So they're 3 I-beams, or 3 I-beams that have been cut in half into WTs, and they're WTs all the way down. And we do have the right in the middle. We'll have another diagonal member, just like here, right? So whereas most of these flat cars have a whole bunch of these diagonals, when I mean diagonal is, you know, this is it's a diagonal member going from here to there. It's just diagonally shaped, right? The orientation is diagonal. We call that a kicker, right? A kicker coming back down to support that. Most rail cars will have several diagonals. They go from, you know, they go from here all the way back down. But this car only has 3 on each side, total of 6. One right in the middle, and then here at the very end, at the transition area. And this is called the transition area here, where it transitions from a deep center sill, transitions up to a shallow center sill. Okay, that's a transition area. So I'll back up a little bit and show you those where those diagonals are at. So you'll always, on this particular type of car, you'll have a diagonal here. You have a diagonal right in the middle of the rail car, so you know that's going to be right about here somewhere. Then one at the very end over there. So there's only 3 per side, total of 6. But the nice thing about this rail car with the triple WTs is that they're 50 KSI steel. So they're a little bit better quality steel versus all the rest of them are, we assume that they're 836 steel, so a little bit stronger. Chalk tracks, all this decking, right, so you can see what that looks like. That can be taken off or left on, or however we want to do it. Good looking rail car. That's all there is to it.